How's it going, Georgia Tech? This is The Club, and I'm your host, Luke Tyrone Quinn. Every 3 minutes in the United States, one person gets diagnosed with blood cancer. It is this demographic that needs blood transfusions as part of their treatment. However, the odds of getting an exact match is 1 in 450. Organizations like Be The Match work to battle against these odds. I had the chance to speak with Rishabh Chawla, who is the president of Georgia Tech's chapter of Be The Match.
So Be The Match is the world's leading nonprofit focused on saving lives through cord blood transplantation. And so the chapter at Georgia Tech is a collegiate chapter of the national organization, and our goal is to add as many Georgia Tech students as we can to the National Bone Marrow Registry.
That's a pretty daunting task. How do you guys achieve that goal of just adding from everybody?
A huge part of what we do is spreading awareness, first of all. We want to add committed donors, right? We don't want to just add people who are going to say, hey, I want to join the registry. But if they end up being someone's match, a blood cancer patient's match, we don't want them to retract their name from the registry because that could be devastating for the patient. So what we do classroom presentations at various organizations, service organizations such as For the Kids. We do classroom presentations at many fraternities and sororities. And we do these mainly to spread awareness. And every semester we have a campus-wide bone marrow drive, generally in November of fall semesters and April of spring semesters. And so by that time, most people kind of know what we're all about. And what we're doing is just adding over 100 people to the registry, and it's really exciting. So what we do is actually do cheek swabs to add people to the registry. So we don't take your bone marrow. It's a huge misconception. We don't take anyone's bone marrow. We do cheek swabs. And the significance of that is to determine your DNA typing. So that gets sent to a team of scientists and researchers who determine if you're an eligible match for a patient who has leukemia or lymphoma. You have about a 1 in 450 chance of matching. So it's pretty rare, which is why we're trying to add as many people to the registry as possible. Probably the most difficult part of what we do is trying to get committed donors to the registry. So when we have our registry drives, we give people a little spiel about who we are and what we do. A lot of people are intimidated by the words bone marrow, right? It's really scary, and half of them think we're going to take their bone marrow, which again, we don't do any of that. The hardest part is just really gathering enough members and educating people about Be The Match, and in doing so, we add committed people to the registry.
What would you say to other people to get them to get involved and Be The Match?
We try to recruit members who we feel that the mission really resonates with them. A lot of our members have personally been affected by cancer in their life, and a couple of them actually themselves have leukemia or lymphoma.
How are you guys using the money that you guys raise through certain, donation events, proceeds nights, and everything?
I'm glad you asked that question, actually. So as a nonprofit organization, we do not get any SGA funding because the money to run our club comes from the Atlanta chapter of Be The Match. And so every donation that Be The Match receives actually goes towards funding life-saving research. It goes towards the patients for them to afford the cost of a bone marrow transplant. And believe it or not, it actually costs money to add people to the registry. So
wow.
it actually funds that as well. So that's why fundraising is a huge part of what Be The Match does. And we're unlike other nonprofits, we're unlike March of Dimes, we're unlike Relay for Life, and the fact that we're not all about fundraising, but we're actually about making tangible change by adding people to the registry. Every 3 minutes, someone is diagnosed with blood cancer, and for a vast majority of those cases, around 70% of those patients can't receive a match from their immediate family. Which is why Be The Match really wants you to join the bone marrow registry today.
Thank you, Rishabh. For more information on Be The Match, please visit their websites. This is The Club. I'm your host, Luke Tyrone Quinn, and thank you for watching.